Well, hello there. Welcome to Downtime with Riverview Jazz. My name is Bryan Beninghove. I will be your host once again for this wonderful little program we've been doing. Riverview Jazz has been checking in on all these amazing musicians and creatives here in Jersey City and Hudson County during this time. And this is our fourth episode, which we could not have done without the generous support of Bank of America. Thank you. And our longtime partner, Hudson County Office of Cultural Affairs and Tourism Development. Well, here we are, episode 4. I'm pretty excited going through. And today I wanted to kind of focus on talking about the evolving role of the artist, especially the independent band leader in the 21st century. In the old days, I'm a stereotype right now, but you get a call from your agent or your booking agent, you go to a place, there would already be posters made up, a press team would go out and you play the gig. Maybe you had a tour manager, maybe you're doing it yourself, but it was still a limited thing because it was before the internet and all these different roles. And there used to be a little bit more money with record sales. Things have changed a lot here, especially in the last 20, 30 years of what you have to do in your skill set as a musician. Nowadays, not only are you the band leader, but you are also the web designer. You are your own press team, graphic design, you're your record producer, you're your own record producer. A lot of times you're your own booking agent, not for everybody, but you got to raise the money. There's so many social media, there's so many different things that you have to have your hands into now just to create a viable entity as a band leader. But this leads us to today's guest, who is doing all of this. And I'm watching him, and a lot of people are going to watch him, see how his ideas are going to shape over the next few years, because he's taken some really great ideas here to start a new label, new ideas moving forward. He's an entrepreneur. He's a go-getter. He's also a Grammy Award-winning composer, arranger, with his own album, Spanish Harlem Orchestra, many others. And he's also a monster trombone player whose sound will knock you down and your mama down. He's a killer. So let's welcome Doug Beavers. Doug, how are you doing?
I am doing great after that introduction, brothers. Dang. Yeah, I'm not into, knocking mamas down, but hey,
it's the sound.
That's what happens. That's the sound. Yeah, man. Love the trombone.
So what are you doing, man? I know you're keeping busy. You staying busy, playing? What are you, new hobbies?
Yeah, well, we just talked about this. I got this beautiful new 88 key, my Native Instruments complete 88 keyboard hammer weight controller. So I've been in heaven just playing and able to just, compose and arrange, and that's been great. So a ton of things on the plate. Number one, we have a brand new record, man. We have a brand new record. So this is very timely. I'm glad you called me up. Brand new record is called Soul. And we're starting the whole process of releasing material. So the first step in that is releasing our first single for it. And we're actually going to do the title cut, which is called Soul, which if just in case you've been living under a rock, that means sun. And that's the whole theme of the record. It's about the sun shining its light on your life and illuminating what's really inside of you. And that was the process for me with this record, is taking the music that I absolutely loved, more pop styles and the whole thing. It's another meaning with soul as well. Soul is soul, right? So we're combining all the stuff that I do, usually Latin jazz, salsa, some jazz in there, but now we're bringing in the R&B and soul.
The sun will shine again, I promise, 'cause it's been inside of you. There's no pain that lasts 1,000 years. There's no face that fits 1,000 tears. So let the sunlight in your heart. In the morning, joy will always come. In the evening, you'll be standing strong. So let the sunlight in your heart.
So you sent me the cut. It's really cool. So I encourage everyone to go get this and check this out. And I'll put something here on the bottom where they'll know where to go here a little bit later. But man, I was really surprised at how subtle and smooth it was. When you were telling me about this, I don't know, 6-8 months ago, maybe a year ago, when we were talking about the concept behind it, I was like, well, this can go a couple different ways. Let's see how this works. And I was, I'm not skeptical of any type of style because you're a monster that makes it happen. But it was so subtle. It was almost like Earth, Wind, and Fire recording for the Fania label. I mean, it was
Yeah.
really hip. It really works, man. So
That's a great analogy for it, if you want to think about it. And the other caveat to this record is it's my first completely 100% original album, album of originals. So I use some of those devices, some of those folks. I've got that cup, by the way. I use some of those. Yeah, it's a great cup, mug. I use a lot of those devices because I want people to be like, oh, that sounds familiar. I bring people in that way. But it's really, couched in all of my original, music and melodies and things like that. We've got singers. I have the amazing Aydah Dyer. Do you know Aydah Dyer?
I don't know.
Oh, she sang backup for Shaka Khan. She was like a big part of the jingle scene, in New York. And she bought a house in the Upper West Side, just working jingles. So she's like this monster R&B soul gospel vocalist. So we have drum set, guitar, but we also have like the 4 trombone section, so it's really fun. We're going to be, rolling stuff out. In fact, the single's out right now, for Circle 9, or my new music label. I guess we could talk about that next for our subscribers.
Yeah, you're making my interview job really easy. You're just cruising right through one thing after another, man. I love it.
Hey, you do enough of these,
So Circle 9, this is going to be your first release there with Circle 9, but I kind of want to before we dive right into it, it's 2020 right now. There's not a whole lot of record labels going out. There's not a lot of people buying records. Why are you doing this now? Why are you taking on this quest? And what exactly is it? Because I know you're trying to do something a little bit different with this. So tell me a little bit about what you got going on here at Circle 9.
Yeah, Circle 9 was actually it was an idea that was conceived in the before times, right? The before times, a pre-COVID idea.
Yeah.
And it was something that, I was planning this record, Soul, that's done. I can't believe it. I was planning this and really working hard on it. And I had some options in terms of bringing it out with some labels and some really established stuff. But as I went through the process, and this was really September 2019, right around now, I realized that I really wanted more kind of control, or just like any musician, you want kind of more control over how something's presented. But I also realized that, in the process, Bryan, of my last 2 records that I did for the Artist Share label, the last one was called Art of the Arrangement, and before that was Titanes del Trombón. Really, to cut to the chase, I brought a community of people together, a community of musicians, a community of photographers, and just in your intro, what we're talking about, photographers, graphical design, mixing, all that stuff. And so I'm like, well, I have all the resources together.
Right.
And I've always wanted, like when I was a kid looking through records, I was a guy who took a record. I have a record here. Let's pull out a record. You got records behind you. Let's see what we have. Oh, this is a Prokofiev record. Okay, so you take this record. This is nice, nice silver foil, and you look at, there's liner notes, there's the titles, there's production, there's musicians.
Or I always loved when you get the double.
That is. I was looking at that yesterday, and it's a little cost prohibitive. Right now.
Yeah.
It more than doubles it. It's called a double gatefold. Package. Anyway, so where was I? I love just sitting down and seeing all that stuff. And I'm like, is there a way we could bring that into now? That experience of sitting down with that record, besides actually having the vinyl, but virtually, so what we're really doing here at Circle 9 is we want people to get that insider experience. And that's why I've developed the subscriber model that you hinted at.
So subscriber model. So let's say, for example, I want to go subscribe to this. What do I get out of the subscription? Like how is this model? What are you offering here for a thing? Because I think it's brilliant. Everybody's looking into different subscription models right now. I talk to different art galleries and different type of venue things, and we're always trying to figure out different ways to get people through the door, because that's really where stuff happens. So what gets you into the door here? What do you get?
Well, what you get is the insider experience, and to not just just receiving the music. I mean, we have Spotify, and musicians are complaining about Spotify and Apple Music. Well, here at the Circle 9, we're utilizing that as a tool. Yes, we're going to get that stuff out. We want to make it ubiquitous and have it available to everybody, right? But with the subscriber model, people really get the inside experience. What I mean by that is, if they're live, and once this whole thing passes, I think a lot of these things are going to keep going. So we're going to bring you into the studio, either physically at the top levels, but we'll bring you into the studio to see the thing being recorded.
Oh, cool.
So we have 3 levels. We have our silver package, which is $59. You get the release immediately. Basically, you get everything before, it's really to market. What else do you get? It's really all about the insider experience, going through the mixing process and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
What artists do you have working with you?
So right now, I'm really happy to announce we have 5 right now. We actually have more ready to go, and it's just a matter of announcing them. So of course myself, and I also have one of the lead singers for Spanish Harlem Orchestra on deck. His name is Carlos Cascante.
Mm-hmm.
And we're developing a really beautiful record for him that's going to be kind of a mashup of like Cuban son montuno, but also more of like a Cheo Feliciano type of vibe, with
cool.
Kind of like the orchestration stuff that I love, like French horns and tubas, and of course trombones. You got to have those, right? So we're working on that. We signed Jonathan Powell, who's your boy.
Oh yeah,
an incredible trumpet player from Florida, and he's a lead trumpet player and the trumpet player for Eddie Palmieri right now. Just an incredible talent, and we need to push him out there because more people have to hear him. So he's going to be doing a solo record for us. We recently signed a great saxophone player, Ivan Renta. And Ivan has played with everybody from Ron Carter to Arturo Ofaril, like everybody. He's like one of the top call guys in town. Really great talent. So I'm going to be arranging and producing his record. So that's 4, and also Johnny Rodriguez. The Riverview Jazz stalwart veteran. So we're going to be his thing is going to be fun. We're going to be doing his Dream Team band, of which I'm a part. And we're going to go into the studio live and cut everything to 2-inch tape, like bam.
Awesome.
Like go right in. So that's 5. We have a couple more announcements this coming week, actually, which on Tuesday is my birthday. So
nice.
So that's
65, huh?
I'll be 68 at that point. And I've got a new cane in a box somewhere. So yeah, man, things are really happening with the Circle 9. 2 other levels, real quick, with the subscription. So just to get back there, we have the gold, where you get the physical CD, and we actually have a vinyl club package, which is our top package. Any new vinyl comes out at a really reasonable price right now. Any new vinyl that comes out, you're going to get shipped to you. So it's really about the insider experience, but also it's about sustaining the musician and this music in a sustainable way. Sustaining the artist. Through these subscriptions, where we could actually make it work if we have a nice critical mass of them. It's not just buying a CD, but you're investing for a year. Like you're taking this trip, and it really means the world to us. We've had a lot of great positive feedback.
Well, you've always been working with some of the baddest cats around here, and so it's great to kind of get them all together. But I mean, you've kind of grown up with. I mean, not grown up. Your career. You've been kind of pushing with a lot of these heavy cats from the beginning. I mean, you're arranging for Spanish Harlem, but you work with Willie Colon, Ruben Blades, Typica 73, all these different groups that you've worked with. Tell us a little bit about some of the things, getting to work with some of these, probably your idols, heroes when you were younger, getting to work with them, things that you were surprised about when you got to meet them, or things that you really... things that kind of piqued your interest when you're working in the studio and on gigs with these guys. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, the primary influence really coming in to what we call the major leagues of the business is, and is that artist right behind your left shoulder there. His name is Eddie Palmieri.
Yeah.
Yes, him. That would be him. And so when I came to New York, I came for graduate school at Manhattan School of Music. and I was studying trombone with Conrad Herwig, and he really shortly thereafter he introduced me to Eddie Palmieri. There was a project called La Perfecta, and that's actually from the '60s. But he was bringing back a lot of those tunes. A ton of that music got lost in a fire in Long Island. There's some story there or whatever. And so they tapped me to actually transcribe and arrange and bring that music back. And then I found myself in Eddie Palmieri's house in Forest Hills at the time, and Aydah was still with us, his wife, and we were just hanging out. So me, Eddie, and Conrad just hanging out, playing, and running these tunes, and you know, the two trombones and the piano. We had a ball, started drinking Heinekens, blah blah blah, and then the rest is history. I've been working with Eddie. You know, I was in the band for about 6 years there, touring. We had like 3 tours a year. You know, so I really cut my teeth there. That's something that really opened my eyes as to the pro level of, okay, it's going down. You're at a jazz festival in Graz or something like that, or North Sea Jazz Festival. What are you gonna do? You know, but it's you know, and at points, you know, there were the nerves for sure. But as I got older, there's no difference. You do what you do. You do it to the best of your ability. And
so you feel like your arranging kind of opened up some doors there too, because I mean, because it's it absolutely had such a versatility there. I mean, not only because I mean you're a killer player, but the arranging chops. I mean, with Eddie and then Spanish Harlem, right? So you got started doing arranging with them as well, right?
Well, I got into Spanish Harlem in 2010, so it's been 10 years. It's amazing. As a player.
Yeah.
Because they needed a guy who could do some good lead bone, and I got in. I started subbing. I was in the Bay Area. I was kind of back and forth for a long time. I'm proud resident of Jersey City right now, but I was back. Heights, baby. But I was back and forth a ton, and they would Spanish Harlem would come to Yoshi's and they would call me up, and then that kind of just set the stage. I'm like, well, man, maybe I could get back to New York, you know. And so at that point I started doing more gigs. The first real gig was in Brownsville, Texas, and that was Carlos's first gig. Yeah. And then from there I was in, man, and that band really helped get my lead trombone stuff really happening.
Oh yeah.
Like high, you know, just control. And then it was later on that I started arranging for Spanish Harlem. Especially, we just did a brand new record called the Latin Jazz Project. It came out in March. Right in the middle of the COVID, right? But we have amazing guest artists like Tom Harrell, and I arranged a piece for the band and Kurt Elling, which was we did Invitation, the Bronislaw Caper piece, Invitation, which was a lot of fun. Yeah. So I heard that
song was originally written for theremin.
For a theremin?
Yeah, and like for a movie.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, of course it was.
Perfect.
I know.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. So, you know, the arranging really led me to the next piece of it, which is the production piece, you know. And I love just being in the studio and making records, man. And that's something we baked into Circle 9 too. It's a one-stop shop. It's not only a music label, but it's a whole production house. So artists can come in and they can go from their little voice recorder ideas, and we could take them straight to the finished master or anywhere in between, you know.
Well, this kind of ties in with what I was saying at the beginning, man. It's just like you got to do everything. But what's great though is that you can develop an originality now with it. I think what's going to be really interesting to look at over the next like 10, 20 years is to see where this is going to go as we're all getting more comfortable. The technology's catching up with the ideas. And it's becoming a little bit cheaper to make. I mean, you know what I mean? Like to do this stuff. I mean, of course I say that right now, but you know what? You just got native instruments. It's just like something pops up every day and you're like, oh, I really need that.
Oh, the plugins, man. That's what
I know.
Like, oh, and now we have this preamp. And now we have, you know, the list will be infinite.
So Doug, we're so excited to see what all is going to be coming out here. Where can we go check out all this stuff?
Yeah, well, the website is circle9music.com. That's nine, the number nine. So circle9music.com. And right there you can go to our subscribe window and you could become a part of it. You know, that is a huge help to us. We are a fledgling label, but we have some incredible stuff. We already have a lot of good support. But we could always use, you know, all of our viewers right here. We could use your support, come aboard, take the journey with us, you know, and see how we make a record from the very beginning and take it all the way to the end. So yeah, go to Circle 9 Music, and we're all over socials too. So Circle 9 Music, Circle 9 Records, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff.
Good. So guys, everybody, please do this. This is a way, if you want to support music, if you've made it this far into the program, if you made it all the way here, then I know you want to support. So please do. Please support Circle 9 Music and support Riverview Jazz too, if you got it like that. Anyway, thank you so much, Doug. Great seeing you. Thank you again to our sponsors, Bank of America, Hudson County Office of Cultural Affairs and Tourism Development. Please check out riverviewjazz.org. Sign up on our newsletter. We got all different types of stuff going. Hop up on our YouTube channel. We're going to be putting out more and more live streaming stuff and videos. And special thanks to our video editor, Rod Holliday, our designer, Maurizio Massi. The theme song is composed by yours truly. And we'll see you next for episode 5. Thank you all. Downtime.